Sun is bright. Hey, Lucky. Sun is bright. 79 in the car. Which way am I going here? We'll go this way. It's a gorgeous day today, and I'm actually out in it. Amazing. All right, let me mute you for a second. There we go. Hello from Milan. Nazim, hello. Well, we'll see. I gotta run errands now. Going to Parma City Hall to get a birth certificate for my sister. Because if you want one from the city of Cleveland, it's going to take 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Because they've thrown their fucking arms up and their head in the sand and screamed, "Oh my God, we can't do anything because there's a pandemic." Because of the stupid ass mayor we have. So they changed the law in Ohio a few years back. I just found out you can go to any city hall where there's a vital statistics department and get a birth certificate if you're born in Ohio. So a lot of the city halls are closed, but Parma, apparently, which is a big suburb, it's very big, their city hall has been open and doing a lot of business with this. And then I'm going to go to the Apple store. I got to get these phones figured out. I mean, this stuff is just costing me so much time and effort. These goobered up devices. Oh, there's a litter bug. Do I get to yell at the litter bug, or probably won't have a chance? I cannot stand people that throw cigarettes and shit out of their cars. Fucking can't stand it. I go nuts. There's no excuse. I will chew you out. Oh, geese crossing. They just had some. Oh, there's a lone geese. There's a lone goosey crossing the road. Oh, 31-inch iMac. Wow, I'm jealous. I don't have any money. I need a computer, period. So I did just get my stimulus money. I may go buy a cheap laptop, something that is much more functional than the 15-year-old Dell that I have. This is a neighborhood I used to hang out in high school over here in Parma. I had friends who lived right around the corner here. And so we were over here all the time. This is the house, actually, right around the corner here. I spent a lot of time in this house when I was a kid. Oh, yeah. The story's in the basement.
I couldn't tell you about that.
Yeah, I'm driving over to Parmatown, so this is one of the routes I would use. Actually, I would have turned 2 streets back and cut over, and then Westminster.
What are you doing?
I'm live streaming. I drive around. I'm going to Parma right now to get a birth certificate.
Oh.
Parma City Hall. But I was driving people through the neighborhood. I'm going, this is a neighborhood I used to hang out in.
Don't go up Pearl.
Don't go Pearl. Oh, no.
No, it's.
But, yeah, spent a lot of time. Frank Dempsey was the owner back then.
Yeah.
You might remember.
Well, that's their family.
Frank and Alex.
Oh, that's right. They moved. Are they still?
No, they're both deceased.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean.
But Catherine's right there. She lives right there now.
Yeah.
She's living in the house?
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen or heard from her in ages.
They're probably even out sitting out in the.
Well, here's her other daughter here.
Yeah.
I think it's Teresa.
Yeah. So they're.
Stop a minute. Stop.
I don't know who is this. I don't know her. Kathy had kids. Hi. I hung out in this basement a lot when I was a kid.
What's your name?
Danny Nolan.
Oh my God.
Who is this? Is this Chris?
It's Chris.
Chris, yes.
Wow. Everybody got older.
Oh yeah. And they were just saying Kath's living here, huh?
Yeah, she's out in the garage right now.
I've got to keep going to Parma and get a birth certificate and then go to
Well, you
Croc.
gotta catch up on
Yeah.
my times.
Hold on a second. Hold on here. Let me. Take my phone number down. I'm live on my phone. I do live streaming. So I was driving through the neighborhood to go over to Westminster, and I said, "Oh yeah, I used to hang out at this house here." Oh yeah. Oh, we got a tractor behind. Or pull in front of me.
Ah, see you later.
Good timing, huh?
Yeah. What was your last name, Danny? Danny Nolan. Well, I wasn't. So, Frank, my dad. Okay. Where are you from? Where? Catch up, man.
Sorry, what a small world. It's a good neighborhood. I'm not here anymore, so it's a good neighborhood. Somebody else might be over here. Cat? right. Yes, it's a ferocious little dog, and I'm late. Shoot. What time is it? Well, that was a really good, lucky. Hey, Ice. That was very fortuitous to go through there and catch Cat and Chris. Yeah, this is a cool neighborhood. There's these two little lakes back here. There's these two little lakes back in this neighborhood. And the street, are we on? No, the street on the other side is called Twin Lakes. We used to have so much fun down here, man, when we were kids. Oh, it's a very nice neighborhood. It's got some very, see here, look at this. Look at this. Wouldn't that be amazing to live on that? In this really dense area of Cleveland, you know, there's these two little lakes. They're along the same little creek. So one lake feeds to the other lake. All right, let's get over to Parma City Hall. Ah.
Go to WKSU.org/subscribe. We hope you enjoyed Here and Now. Fresh Air is next on the WKSU station serving the region from 89.7 WKSU, 89.3 WKRW Worcester, 91.5 WKRJ.
Go this way.
WKSB Townsend, and 90.7 WNRK North. The service of Kent State University on the web at WKSU.org and your smart speaker. Ask it to play WKSU. It's 2 o'clock.
Trees are starting to bud out. It's starting to look nice. It's starting to look like a planet again.
That's one of the most famous tracks by the Rolling Stones. But the backup singer, Mary Clayton, remains pretty much anonymous. Until then, she was featured as one of the backup singers in the 2014 Oscar-winning documentary 20 Feet from the Star. Today, our interview with Clayton and with the film's director, Morgan Neville. Mary Clayton also sung with Ray Charles, Joe Cocker, Carole King, and many others. She has a new album.
Oh, actually, this is going to work out better this way. Am I on? Can't even think. Oh, I'm on the wrong street, but that's okay. Oh, there's a big yard sale. Should we go to the yard sale? This doesn't go all the way through. I'm going to have to read. Let me think. I should have gone over to. We'll go to City Hall first. I guess. Kind of going in that direction. Oh, these phones aren't worth anything. I want them just to be using for other stuff. I just need to get new devices. I may end up just getting a cheap Android, you know. But I still need to fix these so I can use them a little. They're so old, they won't give you anything for them. Alright, where are we at? Where's Ridge Road? Up here. Okay. This guy's going to drive 18 miles an hour. Which way should I go? Should I have gone that way? Oh, I should have turned right. Okay, brought me out here by the circle. Should have followed the red truck. That was my thought, but straight talk. Oh, from Walmart or whatever. Yeah, I still would like to get back with a real carrier, but those cost more typically. Man, what is leaking in this car? Freaking antifreeze leak. Well, this phone is on Simple Mobile. It works real good. So, Linda, I'm going to Crocker Park. Going to the Apple store. All right, haven't been in Parma City Hall and trying to figure out here how to do this. Let's go this way. Should have asked that cop. Yeah, we'll go this way. I have not been in this building in decades, man. I mean, decades and decades. And now we gotta find a parking spot. What is this here? Public parking, 15-minute limits. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do public parking, 15-minute limit. It should only take me a second to run in there. All right. Gotta put a mask on. Okay. Yeah, it's very pretty today. All right. Stop beeping. Don't be so rude. Oh my gosh. People beeping. It's like, really? You have to do that? They have to beep like that? People can only do what they can do. Let's see here. Second floor, stairs. Stairs.
no se ve fea que tú vengas y te dejes el trabajo tirado. ¿Entiendes? No. Si usted se quiere ir, pues. No, pero Saida, usted tiene que hablar conmigo, porque yo jamás voy a pensar eso de usted. Pero no lo conocemos mucho, pero usted me ha dado.
Yeah, Parma City Hall. I had to pick up one of these. I paid for it yesterday by credit card, debit card. It's for my sister. It's Cleveland City Hall is shut down. You can't get, if you go down there and pay for one of these, it's going to take 6 weeks for them to mail it to you. 4 to 6 fucking weeks. It's obscene, man. They don't even want to try to help anybody. So in Ohio now, well, I paid for it yesterday. It was already ready. In Ohio, now that they changed the law, any city that has, it's $25 in Ohio. Any city that has a vital statistics department, you can go there. Any city hall, no matter where you were born in the state, they can all do the work. So I'm glad I had found that out. She already paid for the other one though, but it's going to take 4 to 6 freaking weeks, and she needs it ASAP. And I need one too for something, but I did look in the Bat Vault, and I do still have a copy. Oh no, they suck here too. Especially because of COVID, City Hall is shut down. It's a disaster. All right, I'm late. I need to go over by the bank. What time is it? Can't see the clock. Oh, yes. Thank you. Photostat. Yeah, you're showing your age, Linda. I used to work one of those machines. I used to use a mimeograph. Ask a young kid what a mimeograph is. I mimeoed more freaking copies of stuff than I could ever tell you. Oh my God, did I mimeo things. A Gestetner mimeograph. I used to make millions of copies for my father. Millions. Millions. It's supposed to be somewhere here. I don't know. Catholic school, yeah, Catholic schools. Schools used mimeos back then, yeah. It was cheap, it was efficient enough, It was efficient enough. Is this maybe there it is. All right. Oh yeah, Johnny. My throat has been sore. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right. Where am I at here? My throat has definitely been sore, and I'm supposed to get the second shot tomorrow. Not a good combination. You get the best deals when you buy gasoline with cash. So, you know, fortunately, I bought some today with a debit card. I didn't want it.
Singing her part of "Gimme Shelter" with the Rolling Stones. Your voice cracks a little
Oh my
bit
gosh, this guy's so slow. Come on.
When singing about this, you'd be in such an excited, state that your voice would likely crack. Well, I was really in the moment, and to be honest with you, I was really wanted to get back home, and I knew that something wonderful was going to come out of it and come out of me for it, but I didn't know that crack was going to come out like that. But I was just grateful that the crack was in tune. So what does that mean financially? I assume when you're a backup singer, you get paid a fee for the recording, and whether the record sinks or becomes a big hit, you've been paid, and that's the end. You get paid for the session at that particular time. They were paying.
It's old. It's got 185,000 miles.
2008. Because it was late, and that's what
needs a wash. I need to get a wash today.
But then you go back and you
gotta get a car wash today.
With producers or record companies or whatever. You do get some royalties.
Right.
Do you get royalties from songs? You get royalties from certain songs that you do. Or you do background. It's according to the work that you put in. Right. Did you get royalties for this? I did.
How do I get out of here?
Mm-hmm. So how did the success?
Sirens. Most likely an ambulance. Yep, there it is. Right in front of us. Alright, how do I get out of this parking lot? Alright. Gotta find my way to Westlake now, and I'm supposed to be there in 3 minutes. Can I make Westlake in 3 minutes? Not even at 100 miles an hour. You'd have to be doing about 200. I think it's 2. I gotta look on the card. Yeah, it's Pfizer.
It becomes just undeniable, basically. Morgan, you start 20 feet from starting your documentary about backup singers with a clip of the Reed had Lost on the Wild Side, and
Science Friday.
This is Science Friday from WNYC Studios.
I guess the only argumentative statement I will make is we are doing this because we want the kids here. And we are ignoring our kids and ignoring our family, putting my life on hold to contact trace during a pandemic so that their kids can safely be on campus.
I'm Michael Barbaro. That's Today on the Daily from the New York Times.
Tune in tonight at 7:30 here on 90.3 WCPN.
Support for 90.3 WCPN is provided by Geico, offering the Geico mobile app, which stores ID cards and enables bill pay and claim reports directly from cell phones. Learn more at geico.com. Hospice of the Western Reserve, dedicated to improving the quality of life for patients and their loved ones, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with personalized care.
Oh yeah, you should see how well run the big mass vaccination site is downtown at the Wolstein Center. They can do they have the capacity to do 6,000 a day there. It's all run by mostly run by FEMA, National Guard people, other volunteers. Oh, look at this! Oh, I'm gonna cry. It's single file. It's single file. Everybody line up single file, one arm's reach away from each other. We have apparently massive construction going on, and it's going to take me forever to get through this intersection. I would not have come this way. It could be quicker to drive around, and that would take a mile or two to drive around. That's how slow this is going to be. I hate when I do that. I didn't know. Well, the guy did say Pearl had construction, but I didn't think about it interfering up here with other intersections. So, oh well. I'm stuck here now. Ugh. It happens.
When the vaccine itself first came out in California, there was this statewide list of vaccine priority. They had these tiers by occupations, healthcare workers, teachers. Transportation workers were originally just a few tiers down in that list, but in January, Governor Newsom shifted this all to be a priority system based on age and medical vulnerability, leaving truckers to wait their turn along with all the rest of us. So that's for the vaccine. But then also health agencies at the state and with various counties have provided very little information about COVID-19 in these truckers' native language of Punjabi, leaving them also feeling a little bit left behind in all of this.
Yeah, I know in your story, as you
covered this issue,
you spoke to Punjabi Sikh truck drivers. How were they feeling about the resources that were available to them? What were the main issues? Was it that no one was communicating with them?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest issues, and I shouldn't say that no one. A lot of health agencies, they might make a couple of documents or a couple of fact sheets available in Punjabi, but like the rest of us who speak English and sometimes Spanish, we have these data dashboards, we have these registration pages for testing and for vaccines, and
Uncle Phil is here.
In Punjabi, and so it can be very difficult to navigate, get access to resources, and get these ever-changing resources and regulations and policies directly from the health agencies. And that was kind of leading a lot of other organizations to step in and fill in these information gaps.
You spoke with Rajkaran Singh, who is an announcer and engineer with Punjabi Radio USA, and this is what he had to say.
I know people can argue, okay, they need to know English. Okay, they need to know English, but how are they reaching out? There is no outreach to them. Even the health officials are the department.
I guess I should trim my nails while we're sitting in line here, right? It's a good time to trim your nails.
His radio station,
Trim the nails out the car window.
Incredible reach. They have these brick and mortar radio stations that broadcast locally, but there's some of these internet streams that reach people and truckers, especially around the country. And he's saying we have this incredible network reaching these essential workers, and yet health agencies are not just to actually, do outreach to them. And he was really frustrated by kind of his community being left in the dark. But that being said, recently in the last month,
damn nails grow so fast. I just cut these like 10 days ago. 10 days ago. Look how much they grow crazy fast.
Has been scheduling vaccine clinics at Sikh temples, and other organizations are beginning to get contacted by health agencies to do these Punjabi.
Hey, bud.
This lack of information has been an issue for the wider Punjabi-speaking community. There were Punjabi organizations, right, that stepped in to fill in the information gaps. What were some of those campaigns like?
Yeah, well, so one of them is this Punjabi Radio USA that we already talked about. During the pandemic,
yeah, I guess so. My hair and my nails, man. Crazy. It's either that or it's all the frosted flakes I ate as a kid. Oh, it's a gorgeous day. Jesus. Be better if I wasn't sitting in traffic. Probably going to have to sit through 2 more of these lights. I'm losing monstrous amounts of time. But I did see 2 old friends that blow the horn. That's what was going on before. I'm going into City Hall, and I'm like, who's blowing the horn as I'm walking in? I'm looking over, and there's some cars that want to turn left into the gas station, and somebody in the line is beeping. It's like, the guy can't turn. There's cars in the way. Oh, my God. Freaking people. Really? We're going to make the light? We're going to make the light? Woo! Progress. Made the light. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, just made it. Just made it, literally. I was the last car through. What are they doing on Pearl Road? Oh my God, what a mess. Do not come this way again. Make a note. Oh my gosh. Look at this traffic on the other side, man. It's freaking backed up a 1/4 mile here. Trying to get it. Look at all this traffic. Oh my God. Do not come this way. Make a note. At least not during the daytime. How many of these people will continue to do this every day that they need to do it instead of figuring out a better way? A lot of traffic out. Let's see, where am I going? I guess I'm going to go up here to Snow Road, hang a left. We'll hit Dunkin' Donuts drive-through. I need to get something. Then we'll drive to the Apple store. I'll be late, but they'll let me in. Because I had an appointment. There's no way to call them.
Stories. Long-haul COVID is still a mystery in a lot of ways, but there is a lot of work being done to understand it better, and that's what we're going to be talking about with my guests. Dr. Walter Karashetz is director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke in Bethesda. Dr. David Petrino, director of Rehabilitation Innovation for the Mount Sinai Health System in New York. Welcome both of you to Science Friday.
Thank you, Ira. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Nice to have you. David, let me begin with you. Foggy head, loss of taste, smell, limbs not working as well. Are these all typical long-haul symptoms?
No, you can't.
Yeah, these
You could call Apple Care, but that's all you could do. Oh, they're clearing land. What are they going to build here? Clearing land.
Headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, sort of high heart rate and feeling like the heart is beating rapidly in the chest, exercise intolerance, and extreme fatigue. These are some of the cardinal symptoms that we see in roughly 80% of the population.
You know, we say when you have COVID, you have typical symptoms, but there are so many symptoms here. Could it be almost anything?
Yes, so far we've been tracking over 60 distinct symptoms, and they really do run across the entire body. They're multi-organ, they're multi-system. It can be really baffling to try and track everything that we're seeing. This is why we've started looking toward systems of the body, such as the autonomic nervous system, because the autonomic nervous system can really control lots of things, highly diverse things across the entire body, and it makes some sort of sense when in the context of these symptoms.
autonomic nervous system means for our listeners?
The autonomic nervous system is a portion of your nervous system that controls all of the things in your body that you don't ordinarily need to think about controlling, such as when to breathe in and when to breathe out, when your heart should contract and relax, digestion, when your hair should stand on end, and, body temperature. So it's a very diverse system, and ordinarily it doesn't require any conscious effort to control. But if it gets knocked out of balance, it can cause all sorts of very unusual symptoms.
At what point did it become clear that there was something strange going on with regard to long-term effects of COVID?
Well, for us, it was around late April, early May of 2020. We were using an app for cases of coronavirus that were not being hospitalized, and running this app from about March of 2020. So by the time we hit late April, early May, we had around 800 people on the platform, and around 10% of the earliest adopters of the app were starting to express concerns about new symptoms that were emerging. And they just really weren't getting better. They'd been on the app. Most people would get on the app and
Dr. Kurschitz, I want to ask you about this new study that's getting a lot of attention. Researchers found that in the U.S., a third of the people who had COVID developed a psychological or neurological condition within 6 months. This is pretty shocking, is it not?
Yes, I think most of the groups being talking.
It's good that you remembered you have a convertible. I borrowed my buddy's Lexus the one day, and I go, oh, it's a convertible. I stopped and had to figure out how to drop the top, Huh? Oh, my God, Bad signal.
Mentioned that studies are showing, yes, that these folks, when they're tested, are not performing as you would have expected in terms of their cognitive abilities. And they're telling you that because their main complaint is, they go back to work and they just can't work at the normal level that they did before. Some of them can't go to work. I would say that what should be mentioned is that, in COVID, when you go into that severe stage and you're in the hospital and then you maybe go into the intensive care unit and you have what's called acute respiratory distress syndrome. We know that people who have acute respiratory distress syndrome, COVID or no COVID, have long recovery periods, and they have a lot of these symptoms that David mentioned. The surprise here with COVID is that many of the people who are suffering these complaints have never been in the hospital. So the CDC did a report out in July looking at non-hospitalized patients, and 35% of them had not returned to baseline health 2 to 3 weeks after their test was positive. And if that was influenza, one would have expected 90% would.
Hi. Extra large coffee, cream and sugar. That's all.
All right, go ahead and flip over.
People who recover quickly, and how does that differ in people who recover more slowly? And then also to study the people who have persistent symptoms now months out and try and understand what is the biological base of those symptoms, what can we do to kind of alleviate the symptoms and get people healthier again. And the last bit that we really have to understand is a little bit off the topic, but not entirely, is the fact that COVID has infected so many millions of people that we need to look and see, does it really affect your risk of developing other disorders in the future? Alzheimer's, cardiac disease, for instance. So that's kind of the gist of what the NIH programs are going to go after.
This is Science Friday from WNYC Studios. It seems like you really do need a centralized center there at NIH because it takes in all the different divisions. You have infectious disease, you have neurological, you have all these others, aging. Is that what you're talking about? Are you going to create sort of a new mini division at NIH to study this?
Well, what we're going to create is actually a multi-institute program, which is part of it within NIH itself, but most of it will be out in the university settings or in the community settings. So we envision a large data center where all the data, the imaging data, the blood test data, a coordinating center that will coordinate all the activities of these multiple different cohorts.
Walter, it's clear that there are a lot of people out there suffering from long COVID symptoms. Many of them are people you deal with. We've heard from a lot of them on our Science Friday Vox Pop app, so I'd like to bring them into the picture from people who are actually suffering from them. Here's a question from Annie in Southern California about one symptom that seems pretty common.
Is there any cures for the lack of smell, which affects your taste?
Right, so the loss of smell is, we think, due to the fact that the virus affects the nasal epithelium, so the surface of your nose, inside your nose. There are nerve cells there that detect odors and send the signals back into the brain. The good news is the best evidence is that the virus does not affect the nerve cells themselves, but the supporting cells around those nerve cells. And all those cells can regenerate. So the hope is, and this is the expectation, that these cells will be able to regenerate and your sense of smell will come back again. Couldn't guarantee it'll be exactly as it was. In general, in similar conditions, that's what you see. You need to wait until the regeneration occurs before you get your sense of smell back.
We have to take a quick break, but we will continue our conversation about COVID long haulers when we come back.
Yeah, I've got a friend. Him and his wife both had it like last year, quite a while ago. She lost her sense of smell. And I think he said she still really doesn't have it back. It's been at least, I think he said, 6 months or 8 months. So that was really interesting to hear why it's affecting the sense of smell. I got to share this with him. What a gorgeous, pretty day. Puffy clouds. Super hot coffee now. Okay, this turn creeps up on you. It gets tighter. It gets tighter. This car is so hot. Why did I have the heat on?
More information at nfpmedcenter.org.
On the next Living on Earth,
A trip off the beaten path to the Sky Islands of Arizona.
This region is the place where jaguars and black bears feed. It's the place where you have northern birds like sandhill cranes and birds from the tropics like military macaws.
I'm Steve Kerwood. Ideas about public lands to visit this summer next time on Living on Earth from PRX.
Tonight at 10 here on 90.3 WCPN.
This is Science Friday. I'm Robert Slater. In case you're just joining us, we're continuing
Mr.
our
Conway.
conversation about COVID long haulers, people dealing with health effects months after infection. Here are my guests, Dr. Walter Karashetz, Director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke in Bethesda, Maryland, Dr. David Petrino, Director of Rehabilitation Innovation for the Mount Sinai Health System here in New York City. Let me go to our next message, this one from Amy in Portland, Oregon. Amy was actually the person who coined the term COVID long haulers a year ago. You can read her story in a Wall Street Journal article from January 1st. Here's what Amy had to say.
What I want to know is, will my brain heal? Can I get better? Will I ever recover? Because I've been sick for a year now. As of March 15th is my COVID anniversary. And I want to know if I have hope of returning to my previous life, or if this is a chronic illness. And that's really hard to live with. So that's my question.
David, do you have an answer to that?
Well, I think that no one has an answer to that right now. In terms of this is a new condition, we are rapidly struggling to work out everything that we can about this novel condition. But if we can bring a little bit of comfort to Amy, we've actually just frozen the data set from our first 100 patients that have been through a rehabilitation protocol. We specially designed this rehabilitation protocol for COVID long haulers, and the good news is we're seeing around a 40% improvement in reported symptoms. The bad news is we're seeing this around 40% improvement after about 160 days in the rehabilitation program. So I think what everybody needs to hear at this point is that improvement is possible with careful rehabilitation. But we're looking at a very long road to complete recovery. We have had cases of complete recovery at this point, but these are individuals who have been consistently working with our rehabilitation program for, more than 12 months. So I think that is the time frame that we need to be thinking on. That's the scale that we need to be thinking on when we think about rehabilitation. I think that even then, there's no guarantee that everybody is going to feel the way they did pre-COVID. We still have so much learning to do before we can understand how everybody's going to respond to rehabilitation. And I think also government agencies, CDC, NIH, Social Security Administration, need to brace for this, because from our data set, what we're seeing is that 60% of individuals who are coming to us for care, and we've managed around 950 cases at this stage, tell us that their employment status has changed. And so I think that we all need to be ready for a big influx in people's work status changing, their life status changing for a period of time. And we all need to be prepared with the best science and the best possible care coordination to make sure that all of these individuals who are feeling exactly like Amy is feeling, completely displaced, like they've lost control of their body, we need to all work together with a lot of compassion to bring them back.
Can you give me an idea about what rehab looks like?
Sure. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have focused a lot of our attention on the idea that many of these symptoms are similar to what we see when people have a condition known as dysautonomia, their autonomic nervous system being thrown out of balance. And when you look into the literature surrounding how to rehabilitate individuals with dysautonomia, there are a number of behavioral interventions where we work around identifying each patient's specific triggers of severe symptoms and give them strategies to avoid those triggers. So to give a concrete example of that, some people will experience a severe attack of symptoms immediately after eating a big meal. That's because in many cases of dysautonomia, stretching out of the stomach will cause an autonomic response that makes them feel like they're about to faint, that their heart is beating rapidly in their chest, and it's incredibly unpleasant, and it can knock them off balance for the rest of the day. So in individuals who get triggered by large meals, of course, we have them working with a nutritionist to help them plan out smaller meals that aren't going to bring on these triggers. There are a diverse number of triggers that we could go through, but we won't because we've got limited time. But the point is, the first thing we start with is you currently feel like you're out of control, your body is out of control. Let's bring some normalcy and some sense to what you're experiencing. So for every identified trigger, we come up with a solution.
And the percentage of patients you said who actually are improved after your treatments?
So rather than looking at percentage of patients who are showing recovery, we were talking more about the average recovery in the group. And the average recovery in the group is around 35%.
That's very, very interesting. Walter, is there a certain demographic that seems to be hit harder by neurological symptoms after COVID?
There is certainly, from the reports that are out there, there are more females than males in most of the reports of people with suffering post-acute sequelae of COVID.
David, could there be a lot more people who are suffering symptoms out there and don't know that they have, that they're long haulers?
I think that certainly we could have a large number of people who are out there and just not feeling right after their COVID infection, and either, don't realize that it's something that they can seek help over, or in fact, don't feel safe seeing a physician to describe their symptoms. A lot of what was happening early on in the pandemic, and is still happening, thankfully to a lesser degree, is there's certainly a lot of medical gaslighting going on in this community. And so I think that right now the demographics may be skewed because we know that historically excluded groups will experience more medical gaslighting. So, women, people of color, etc., people with disabilities. And so I think that there could very well be a number of individuals out there who are experiencing these symptoms, but simply don't want to go to the doctor and say, oh, I had COVID and now I'm feeling, here are some vague subjective symptoms that I'm experiencing. And because I think that they fear what comes next, which is the doctor saying, hey, this is just anxiety, or you're having a panic attack, go home.
Walter, I want to get a message in from another long hauler, Susan from Needham.
I am a COVID long hauler. I just passed the 1 year mark of being exposed to COVID on March 20th, 2020. My question is, I am wondering if there is any research being done on the effects of COVID on the hippocampus. I am losing my cognitive mapping, where I can be driving down the street, or I go into a grocery store that I've shopped in for 30 years, and I have absolutely no idea where I am. It's as if I have never been in that store in my life. And I know I'm not the only one. I've read many articles of other people who are
Wow, that's a heavy side effect.
Mapping loss. So I was wondering if there's anybody looking at that. Thank you.
Could it be cognitive memory?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the memory is what people are complaining about. Now, if you think about it, if you have a fever and you have the flu, you're not thinking as quickly, your memory is not as good. We know there are so many things that can influence memory, and certainly fatigue, sleep, if you're having sleep trouble, and potentially even the effects of the virus. So we don't know is whether this is an autoimmune reaction that's been set up by having the virus, whether it's a disturbed immune system. We don't actually even know if the virus is still fighting there somewhere, triggering these troubles. But the memory problems, the attention problems, concentration trouble, that is what you see in people who have numerous rheumatologic conditions, post-concussion And so there's lots of factors that could be causing that. We have to kind of get at the bottom of it.
This is Science Friday from WNYC Studios. I just have a couple of more questions I'd like to get to them from our listeners. I want to talk about the vaccines and how they might interact with COVID long haulers, because I want to play a call that we got from Anne in San Diego. Anne suspects she had COVID in March 2020, but did not get tested, so she doesn't know for sure.
The worst symptoms were deep, very painful muscles. After about 8 months, I still couldn't lift either arm to the level of my shoulder. I had the Moderna vaccine starting in January, and it finished in February. And I had one in one arm and one in the other. And at that point, all of the pain went away.
Walter, this seems pretty bizarre, doesn't it? Do we know if the vaccine is altering people's long-haul symptoms?
You know, I think we've heard those type of stories multiple times, and so if that's true, I think that's fantastic, that there's some clue there to these symptoms if it goes away after the vaccine. Now, what's the clue? The obvious one is there's some virus still in the body. The vaccination revs up the immune system and gets rid of the virus. But there's lots of other possibilities. It could be the vaccine resets your immune system. There are also people who have the symptoms have gone away, but then they come back 4 or 5 days later. So I think we need to get, this is great. You have to look around and listen to the patients, as David said, and they can provide the clues. But this is the one clue that seems worth following up in terms of studying people before and after they get vaccinated and see if there's a reaction to the vaccine that's related to improvement. That could help everybody with this condition. But I think at this point in time, we have to kind of get more kind of rigorous data to that point.
Well, in getting the data, then, would you recommend that long haulers get vaccinated so maybe they could be tracked?
Oh, absolutely. I think that almost everybody should get vaccinated. The exclusion for vaccination are almost non-existent.
Okay, Linda, can you restrain yourself? We're close.
There are a lot of mysteries around long COVID. If you could get the answer to any piece of this puzzle that would really change how you do your job, what would you like to learn?
Well, this may sound very reductive and very simple, but leading right back to when I mentioned that word, the pathophysiology of long COVID. We are currently managing symptoms. We are currently using our best guess at rehabilitation approaches, and those rehabilitation approaches are working, albeit slowly. I think that we could just become so much more targeted, both with therapeutics and rehabilitation, if we understood why this is happening in the body. So, I mean, if I could snap my fingers and understand one thing, it would be what is happening in the body that is causing this physiological change that is leading to this incredibly debilitating multi-system, multi-symptom condition. Once we understand why it's happening, then we can think about targeted treatments as opposed to more generalized treatments.
Walter, same question to you.
Well, I have the same answer.
There it is.
Twist, and that is that what I would like to know is what's the difference between those people who have the same degree of illness from COVID who get better quickly versus those who don't get better for months and months. And I think this is the opportunity we have to get at that. I think that's going to shed a lot of light on this problem and potentially other conditions like ME/CFS.
I'd like to end with one question from Katie, or a statement and a question from Washington State.
Oh, you're coming to town? You got to let me know.
Because I got sick a year ago, and I was in New York City, and I moved myself across America. I got treatment in Seattle, and now I'm in Wenatchee, Washington, and I'm still doing miserable. So I'd just like to know, is there hope for us out there?
Research is hope. There's hope through research. We have to get to the bottom of it to help people. You can't lose hope.
I've never heard any researchers say they have enough money to do what they need to do. So, but I'm going to ask you, Walter, with this new cohesive approach, is there enough money being thrown at it to create this network that you're talking about?
Well, we don't throw money here today.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, that's why I asked. I said, I've never heard a scientist say, I have enough money to do anything.
Well, Congress realized this was a problem.
Okay.
And they appropriated $1.15 billion for this problem. And that's really given us the chance to go at it in a big way. So this is a real substantial research initiative, thanks to the wisdom of Congress.
David, how do you answer that question for yourself?
I would agree. I've been absolutely overwhelmed by the responsiveness.
Ooh, there's First Watch.
Asking for data, asking for anything that they can do to understand this problem and get at this problem. So I think that I've never seen this level of cooperation across health systems, across government agencies. I really hope that continues. I really hope that we can all just make a concerted effort to work together to really unlock these puzzles.
Well, sort of. This is what modern malls are. They're all modern malls are outdoors. Yeah. It's a lifestyle center. You can live here, you can work here, you can shop here, you can eat here. It's become the city of Westlake, which is a suburb. It's become their downtown because Westlake never had a downtown. It was a farm, rural kind of suburb, and it grew up, and it's a very wealthy suburb in many ways now. But it never had a main street with like all the buildings on it and some shops. It never had any of that. It was all scattered. All right, where are we going to park? Where's the Apple Store? There's the Apple Store on the other side. Yeah, I'm going to have to park indoors. So, in Cleveland, there's only 4 indoor malls. Now, all the we used to have like 10 indoor malls around here. They're all, it's a couple of those indoor malls now have been turned around into something like this. They've been gutted and turned into these plaza, these outdoor type stuff. That's what they found works. We've got a lot of these around here. We've got, Crocker Park here. We got, what's the one on the east side? Not Laplace. That's the little tiny thing. Anyhow. Yeah, it's very nice. Linda, have you ever been to Mosaic District in D.C. where I was working? Near Arlington, or Fairfax? Fairfax. Have you ever been over there? Oh my God, you should go over there. Go look at it on Google. Got like 35 restaurants, just like Crocker. Lots of housing, 7-story tall apartments, townhouses. It's on, what's the name of the street? I can't think of the name of the one main road there, but it's just off the Beltway. All right, got this phone. I gotta get all this stuff. I need all this stuff. My computer. It's got a movie theater, all kinds of stuff. We got windows up. All right. Is there any what? I think that's where they have a small telescope. They do a lot of public stuff there. Um, Hold on here. Gotta figure out if I'm gonna take this mask. I don't know which mask do I want. I'll take this. I'll take that. Take that. Do I have the keys? I'm like a bag lady with my computer bag here. If I'm still alive. It's so nice here. Well, let's see if they let me in right away or if I'm going to have to wait since I'm so late. The other thing I'm going to try and do, if somebody reminds me when I come back, because I'm going to hang up soon, I'm going to try and go shopping for shoes. Hold on here. All right. Going to leave you here for a second. Or actually, I can do that. All right, I gotta wait 40 minutes. I don't know what to do now. I can't eat in 40 minutes, so that's out. Ugh. Dress shoes, yeah, not. Well, I'm just gonna go try shoes on. I want to get some more of those Keen work boots like I have had. They're all worn out. I have discount coupon for online purchase, so I can only go try them on and then order them online. But I need to get some sneakers and I need to get a few pair of shoes. Everything I have is worn out. I mean, look at these things. You got holes. My other shoes are actually the sole came apart on them. My boots. I wish it was enough time to eat. Nowhere fast here. Tacos is about the fastest thing you can get around here. I could get a crepe. Crepes in the city. Battery's getting low now. I never noticed that. These apartments over here have balconies. I never saw that before. That's nice. They have little balconies. I never noticed those. Most of them don't. Like, this is the same building, but they don't have. Oh, they have some balconies on the side, but not on this face. It's because they were built probably at different times. There's nothing I could go. All right, I'm gonna hang up because I'm gonna walk around and maybe find something I could nibble on for a little bit, and I gotta plug this phone in. So I'll be back. Thanks for hanging out. See you later.